Okay, hi everyone. This is going to be the first video in a series of videos that I'm going to put together, grouping each of the different product lines within Damsel so that you can watch the parts that you want in a condensed shortened version. So this is going to be my Safe Hearts video. I'm going to start with this one because it's my favorite product line. This product line is the reason that I joined Damsel in Defense because while self-defense is very important in protecting our bodies physically is important, I believe it's even more important to protect our hearts, to protect the hearts of our children and all of our loved ones. And this series is an education-based product line, and it's meant to guide parents through these kidversations, as they term them in this line, talking about things like body boundaries, boundaries in general, and tricky people, tricky situations that children can find themselves in often. Even as adults, we find ourselves in these situations often. And if you haven't been programmed how to deal with them and been given the tools necessary to protect yourself in these situations and to have the strength and the ability to say no when you're in an uncomfortable situation, then it can cause damage to your heart. So Safe Hearts, the word safe stands for sharing awareness for family empowerment. So the whole purpose of this line is aiming to prevent childhood abuse. Most childhood abuse occurs by somebody that the child knows and is familiar with. And that is very sad, that is very scary. We spend so much time teaching our children about stranger danger, not to talk to strangers, not to get a ride with strangers, but really we need to be very aware of the people that are involved in our lives and our children's lives on a daily basis and listen to those heart signals, as they call them in this line. And when something feels uncomfortable, go with your gut. You would always rather be safe, and there is nothing wrong with saying no and putting up healthy boundaries. And you don't need to be rude or offend people by putting up these boundaries, but you can have firm boundaries to keep your children and your family and loved ones safe. The first product in this line is the Proactive Parent Guide, and this is the most important tool out of this entire line. It is for the parents to read, and it just helps give you an idea of why you want to have these conversations, how to go about having these conversations with your kids. It's something that is not comfortable for everyone. I think it's not comfortable for most people to have these conversations. It talks about what abuse is, what the effects of it can be, how to create boundaries for and with your child, how to prevent, what signs of abuse are, how to seek a qualified professional if abuse has occurred and you find out after the fact. And that's just some of the content in this book. This book is $5, and I really wish that I can give one to every single parent that I run into. This is one of the most valuable tools I have ever read in my life. It is that important, and I feel that strongly about having these conversations with your children. I know that my own mother has said that she wished that she had these resources at her disposal when I was younger, and maybe things could have been different, but you know what, I'm glad for the situations that I did find myself in. My struggles have led me here, and they can help me to help others heal their hearts. So that is the Proactive Parent Guide. If you are a parent, please get one of these. They are $5. The main part of this line is the children's books. They currently have 6 of them written, and there will be more being written. Let's see here. So they're illustrated storybooks. This one is my friend's new toy, and so in this story, the little girl goes over to her friend's house, and her friend tries to convince her to disrobe and to play not dressed. And so this little girl's heart signals make her feel uncomfortable, and all of these books have these 4 characters in them. They're children of different ages called the Heart Defenders, and they come and they help the child to navigate through that situation and to have the courage to say no and to tell a safe adult about what has occurred. The next one is Madison's Big Brother. This one is a teenage girl is over at a friend's house, and she ends up being alone at one point with the big brother, and he tries to kiss her. So the Heart Defenders help her navigate through that situation. This one is the All-Star Dugout Dreams, and this one, the young boy is, I believe, probably about middle school age, and his coach gets him alone and tries to convince him to do some secret training so that he can become the best on the team, but he can't tell anybody about it. And the secret training, will be at the coach's basement. And so the boy feels uncomfortable. The Heart Defenders come and help him navigate that situation and give him the courage to tell his mom about the situation so that it can be confronted properly. This one is Chase's Champion. In this story, a little girl witnesses her cousin being abused, and she tries to tell a safe adult about what happened, and the adult does not believe her. So the Heart Defenders help her to find the courage to go on and find another adult until somebody does listen to her so that she can get the help that her cousin needs so that the situation can be properly addressed. And this one is Julian's Solo Voyage. In this story, the little boy goes into the bathroom by himself, and he does carry his personal alarm, which I will talk about in a different video later, and he is able to use it, but this is after a gentleman approaches him in the bathroom offering to help him go to the potty, and the Heart Defenders come and help him realize that uncomfortable feeling that he has, he needs to listen to that and say no and use his personal alarm so that his mom can be aware of the situation and help him. So in this book, I liked the paragraph talking about tricky people that I had mentioned earlier. Tricky people will try to take a piece of your heart by hurting you or by convincing you to do something that could hurt you. You have to protect your heart so a piece is not taken. And it goes on to explain what that means in the story in children's terms. So these stories are so very well written, and even as an adult, I am benefiting from reading these books, and they are touching my heart. The last one is called Healed Hearts, Heal Hearts, and this one is by far my favorite. In this story, the abuse has already occurred to the little girl, and so in this story, it's seeking help for her to heal her heart. Because your heart doesn't have to be missing that piece forever. It can be stitched back together. So I wanted to read the last paragraph in this story because it's my favorite. The stitch in Cynthia's heart that held the missing piece in place was now a reminder to her of not only how to avoid it being taken again, but also of how she can help others the way that no one else could, because healed hearts help heal hearts. So this one is my favorite because I am a healed and healing heart, and I definitely want to use my life and my resources to help other hurting hearts to heal their pieces back together. So each of these books are $10. As I said, there is 6 of them right now. If you have any questions about any of them, I kind of briefly went over what they are. Please feel free to ask me, and I can give you more information about each of the stories. You definitely want to proofread them before you just go read them with your children. You want to make sure that you are prepared for what content is in them and how you want to approach that with your children. Another product in this line is a family game. It's the Safe Hearts board game. So this is a game where there's different questions for the parents and for the children. So they're scenario questions. So it will ask the parent, in this scenario, what would you have your child do when it's the parent's turn? And when it's the child's turn, it'll be something asking the child what they would do in this given situation. So it opens up that conversation in a fun way. There's also some fun cards mixed in there that are more lighthearted and not having to do with those tough conversations, so it gets mixed up a little bit, but it's a fun way to get your kids talking about this and thinking about that without instilling fear in their hearts, because that's not what we want to do. We don't want to make our children afraid of everybody that they're around, but we do want to make them aware of those heart signals that we all have, those gut instincts when we know that something is wrong and we know that someone is asking us to do something that is not okay. That board game is $25. So, yeah, that's just a really good way to start those conversations without having to sit down and have a talk with our kids. I know as a child, I never liked hearing we need to have a talk. So there is that. There is also, let's see if I can find them, a couple more little products as part of that line. There is the lunch pail and puzzle packs. So they're just little puzzles and lunch pails of the Heart Defenders and the characters in the story. Those are $15 each, so that's just another fun thing. If your kids really like the stories and are into the characters, that can be a fun little added bonus for them. There's also these little Heart Defender badges that are $5 each. So when your kids play the game and they, are doing good at answering the questions and how they would respond in certain situations, you can give them a little Heart Defender badge. It's just a fun way to make it a part of your family life. So I think that's it for the Safe Hearts line. Thank you guys for giving me your time and for listening to my heart on this matter. We'll talk to you later.